A guy from Germany will teach you something about Indian culture. Bollywood movies basically crashed my sense of relationships, and not just for me, but I think for a whole generation.
You're not alone, man. Bollywood has completely ruined the idea of love for billions of youngsters. Hi guys. I recently came across this gentleman who's probably one of the biggest Bollywood fans ever, despite not being from India. I mean, calling him just a fan would be an understatement. Let's see what he has to say about his journey.
Why is a guy from Germany with Serbian roots so obsessed with Bollywood movies? The answer for that would be that those movies had a hypnotizing effect on people in Germany, especially those with migration background. In the 2000s, there was a Bollywood hype occurring in Germany with the German TV channel RTL 2 showing Bollywood movies.
Es gibt etwas, das ist größer als Hollywood. Bollywood, Kino made in India.
If you are also wondering what bigger than Hollywood means here, I think it's about the grandeur, the larger-than-life nature of the Bollywood movies, especially the mainstream ones. I mean, Indian films do stand out, with their songs and dances, the over-the-top melodrama, particularly the ones from 90s and 2000s.
Ich werde dich zurückholen, Rahul. Ich werde auch dich zurückholen, Anjali. Nach Hause.
Der weltweit erfolgreichste Film aus Indien. In guten wie in schweren Tagen.
While cutting this video, I just realized that this is, for Indian people, the first time to hear Shah Rukh's German voice. Like, this is how I grew up with the movies.
Und zu ihr sagen, hey, wer immer du bist, ich liebe dich.
Well, he does actually sound like Shah Rukh from that time. Just a bit more sassy, I would say. I know my Gen Zs would disagree with me because they are used to hearing a different Shah Rukh.
On the 19th November 2004, they aired In Guten wie in schweren Tagen, or the original title Kabhi Khushi Kabhie Gham, which was the first movie to be synchronized in German. I'm trying to pronounce everything correctly. I'm sorry if I say something wrong.
No, you're doing amazing. Please keep going. It's still much better than how Indian people pronounce their own names after staying out of India for a couple of weeks.
Santosh.
So the German people started to fall in love with Indian culture with every movie that was released. There was for some time even a TV channel that was just playing Bollywood movies. I don't know if that even exists anymore, but who watches TV, right? During that time, a 7-year-old Nunalicious found a new obsession that will follow him for the next 22 years of his life. And when I say obsession, I really mean that. I love those movies. Even when I was living in the Zen monastery, I forced people to watch them with me because I wanted them to fall in love with those stories too. And let's be honest, what's better for your spiritual path than watching Rahul and Anjali?
Yes, that's exactly what you need to transcend all the boundaries of material existence. A Bollywood movie. But yeah, seriously, that's the thing with stories. They stay with you. It doesn't matter if they're from Hollywood, Bollywood, or the anime world. If it's high quality cinema or it's something super commercial. What I think matters the most is how it makes you feel. Like in India, there are so-called cinephiles who would judge you for watching this movie. But also there are people who have probably seen it like a million times. I mean, just let people watch what they want instead of roasting them for not liking some Italian director's 18th century movie on pregnant frogs.
And there really is just something about that culture. One time I had this really deep meditation where I kind of had the feeling that in a former life I was an Indian woman. I don't know why it's a woman. I could tell you, like, I love the music, I love the traditional dresses, I love all those rituals they're doing, but it's more of a sense. It's kind of like home. Even though I tactically never entered Indian borders.
That's the thing with some cultures. You just feel naturally drawn towards them. And it's not about the geography, the nationalities, the religions. You could be from anywhere and still feel closer to a culture that is on the other side of the world. I don't even have to mention how so many anime fans just want to move to Japan. But the thing with India is that there's just so much anti-India propaganda that a lot of people end up overlooking its positives. The stories, the art, the philosophy, the culture it has to offer. And obviously the negative preconceived notions about India It ruins the whole experience before it even begins.
I don't know if I would really feel comfortable there, not because I don't want to visit a country, but I have a really big problem with pollution in general, and I think that's a real big topic there, especially if you're not used to it.
I like how he is just unapologetically honest that this is what I like, this is what I don't like, instead of talking diplomatically.
I think it could also have something to do with my Serbian roots because the more you go to the east, like from Europe to India, the more the music gets more Indian-like.
He could have given a better example of Indian music, something like. But I get the point. Indian music influences and is influenced by Persian, Arabic, and Eastern European music. And you could also see it in the songs in the Indian movies.
So Serbian music has a lot of similarities to Indian music, and I think that was something that made the path for me to love the movies. So since the Indian film industry is much bigger than just the Bollywood genre that I mainly watched, I can't include everything, of course, but to give you a glimpse of my taste in movies, those are my favorites. Of course, Kabhi Khushi Kabhi Gum, Kuch Kuch Hota Hai, Ver Zara, Kal Ho Na Ho. Yeah, you can see that I'm a big Shah Rukh fan. I've watched a lot of movies without him too, of course. So, why is the portrayal of love so much more intense and emotional than in other movies or series that are, for example, produced in the US?
Leo, I was born to love you. And I always will.
First big point, culture. So of course there's also culture in Germany, but it's not so present anymore, especially in those modern days. I don't know if it is still in India, let me know in the comments, but the way it's portrayed in movies, traditional clothing, dancing and music are a big part of it, which is something we don't see so often. So of course it has more magic for us.
I don't think it's just the culture. They do influence how you dress and behave on a daily basis, but it has more to do with how Indian masala movies are made. Most Indian festivals are grand and loud, and commercial movies often feel like those festivals, trying to replicate the same energy for a couple of hours for the average Indian. That's how I see it. But at the same time, Indian cinema continues to produce artsy films and music, though unfortunately most of them don't receive the recognition they deserve. Still, I don't believe one is better than the other. It all depends on personal preference.
In Bollywood movies, the way they dress, they move, and they sing don't just help us to feel what the characters are feeling, they also create a whole different world. It is kind of like watching a fairy tale where people are dressed beautifully. Especially the heritage and importance of family really elevates the whole experience. Sometimes it's just them regularly wearing those clothes or visiting temples. Like I said, if you compare it to Germany, when you go to church you don't wear special clothing. And when they portray marriages, of course, that's also totally different.
Nah, except for weddings, I don't think people dress up nicely just to go to temples. But also it depends on which part of the country you are from, because there are just so many cultures.
Also, there is this one prayer that's always stuck in my head. It's in a lot of movies. It's like, Om Jai Jagadish Hare Swami Jai Jagadish Hare. Om Jai Jagadish Hare. I think I googled it once and it's like prayer to a goddess. I'm gonna have to Google that later. So just because of those beautiful prayers, those colorful images, and the way they portray how they love their country is something that is kind of magical and is something that you really like to watch.
I don't know about you guys, but to me, this man sounds more Indian than any Indian I've ever seen. And I know some haters might say, oh, he's doing it for views. No, he's genuinely curious about India. And even if he was doing it for views, I don't see a problem. Why not?
Another big point is that they always break some kind of social norm in the movies. And when it comes to breaking laws, love is always the thing that overcomes everything. Sure, love overcomes everything is not a new concept for us, but I don't think that it was so much 20 years ago how it is now. One of the most famous examples for me is the love of Rahul and Anjali in Kabhi Khushi Kabhi Gum, where they are from a different social class. But, well, Anjali and Rahul still fall in love and also gain the power of teleportation.
Yeah, that's something really unique about Indian commercial cinema. You could acquire that power of teleportation as soon as you see the love of your life for the first time. And the next thing you know is your girl dancing on Saturn rings in a lehenga. And how do you tell if it's the one, your soulmate? Well, you just believe your intuition. Because according to Bollywood, there's nothing greater in this world than love. And with love, you could overcome any obstacle in this world. I mean, spiritually speaking, it makes sense. But the love that they have in these movies, it's not at all spiritual, let's just accept that. It's just a naive sense of love driven by hormonal stimulation. However, it's fun to watch people fall in love like this. It's like a trademark of Indian commercial cinema.
And after Rahul marries her, his father abandons him and Anjali, which makes them move to London. Imagine being that rich that you can just move to London. And then Rahul's brother Rohan has to bring his family back together. While he falls in love with Anjali's also very sexy sister. And even though neither in German nor in Serbian culture we got those big of clashes or problems when it comes to who you want to marry, and it's really hard to grasp, you still feel with the characters. Through the acting, through the wonderful songs, we understand what great obstacle this apparently is. So we sit there and cry for 2 hours while the family finds back together.
Well, social dynamics are different everywhere, but at least he's putting in the effort to understand why it happens, instead of blatantly passing racist remarks while staying ignorant about other cultures.
Other great examples are Ver and Zara, in which movie Ver stays in prison for Zara to keep her honor as a woman for like 22 years or something. Kal Ho Na Ho, in which Aman knows that he's going to die soon, so he tries to make Naina fall in love with Rohit. Or Dilwale Dil... I don't know how to pronounce that. Dilwale Dulhania Le Jayenge? You know which movie I'm talking about. This movie is in the theaters for like more than 30 years, I think. Didn't they also create like a statue of Simran and Raj? I think they did. Simran Raj statue. Yes, they did. Marking 30th year of Yash Rai Films' historic blockbuster Dilwale Dulhania Le Jayenge. Shah Rukh Khan and Kajol unveiled bronze statue of Raj and Simran at London's Leicester Square. Nice.
Well, in India, they're not just actors, they're heroines. These celebrities, especially in the past, were treated like gods here. But now things are changing for the good, and people focus more on stories and direction than who is the leader of the movie. Except in a few cases like Ramayan.
Love without needs. So of course, in the stories, love is the most important aspect. A love between two humans that is so strong that nothing can get between it. And as a kid, of course, you don't know that those kinds of love are as rare as getting born as a beautiful Bollywood actor. And I mean that, they're all so fucking beautiful. They gave me body dysmorphia a lot of times. But again, it's really hard to compare yourself with so beautiful actors if you are 8 years old, right? Anyway, something you realize when you grow up is that love is not always like that. But deep inside of us, we all love the desire to be loved and would love to be loved the way they love each other in those movies. And one point why this works so good, and I think can actually work in real life under certain circumstances, is that in all those stories, their love is so pure and selfless that they don't care about any other need anymore. They simply don't need anything else except from being with each other.
As I said before, this naive sense of love has ruined a whole generation of Indians. Because it's just so detached from practicality. But it works for many people, and since humans haven't been able to figure out what love actually is, I don't really have a strong opinion on it.
The best thing is, sex is not such a big topic. At least in the movies that I like to watch. Most of the time, they don't even kiss each other. They just do this really funny thing where they rub their faces against each other. But that's the thing, they don't need those things. Because, like teenagers, when you fall in love for the first time, it's about being close to each other, spending time, and sex is just something far in the future and not their desire in that interaction. Two missing pieces found together and don't need a penis or a vagina to feel completeness. The acting and the music transport these emotions better than any overforced sex scene would, like in all new Netflix and Hollywood movies.
I think one of the main reasons for that is they want to make these movies more family friendly and accessible to the mass audience. And also the themes that they had in those movies. They challenged the status quo and the social evils that existed in Indian society. So go and check out Nino Leashes, guys, for the full video. I really loved this one and thought it was worth talking about. I will see you in the next one.